Hi, this is Brad Linder with Liliputing, and this is a Dell Venue 11 Pro tablet, which is a Windows tablet that's available with up to an Intel Core i5 processor. This is the entry-level version, which has an Intel Atom Bay Trail processor, and you can see that it runs desktop software, it runs tablet-style software, and overall it's an interesting little device with a 10.8-inch Full HD 1080p display. It's a little bit larger than some of the Windows tablets we've seen, and that gives you room for full-size ports like a USB port here, along with a micro USB port. That's a speaker, volume buttons, headset jack. On the other side, we've got a SD card slot, a mini HDMI port, another speaker, and there's the power button up there. And then on the bottom we've got some proprietary ports here for attaching a keyboard dock. I don't have the keyboard dock available at the moment, but that's one accessory that's available. It should also extend your battery life. Dell says you should be able to get around 8 to 10 hours of battery life just using the built-in battery, but then you should be able to extend that when you plug in the keyboard dock. This also has an active digitizer and supports digital pen input for writing or drawing on the screen, depending on the applications you're using, or for hovering over the display. So overall, it's pretty versatile. You can see it's, well, I don't know how well you can see it here, but we've got 2 gigs of storage, 2 gigs of RAM on this model, an Intel Atom Z3770 quad-core processor, and 64 gigs of storage. Again, this is the model that comes for, or sells for about $500. For $800, you can get a model with a Core i3 Haswell CPU for more power, or for $850 a Core i5 processor, and those have 4 gigs of RAM and additional storage, which is part of the reason why the prices are so much higher. But again, you can add it to a keyboard dock and use it as sort of a full-fledged desktop-style computer. So you can see here we've got the web browser up, everything sort of responds nicely to touch, and other applications. I just logged in with my Windows ID, and it downloaded the Kindle app, Netflix app, some of the other things that I had on previous computers, and overall it seems pretty snappy, pretty responsive. This is just sort of a first look video, and I'll have more details in an upcoming review after I've had more time to test it. But I wanted to show you one of the other things that really makes this guy stand apart. Aside from the high resolution screen, the support for a stylus and a dock, we've got the 8 megapixel camera on the back and a 2 megapixel camera on the front. But what really sort of makes it stand out from almost anything else on the market right now is, and we'll see how well this works here while I'm trying to shoot the video, there's a little sort of nub here that you can pull up to remove the entire back panel. And now we can actually get at the 32 watt-hour battery. You can just slide these 2 little guys and pop out the battery and replace it. Now you can't do that live. There's not a battery built in here, so we would need to shut down the system in order to not lose any data if you wanted to pop out the battery. But once the system's shut down, slide, stay, and the battery comes out. So again, 32 watt-hour battery should be good for up to 8 to 10 hours of use depending on how you're using it. And if you had a spare battery, you can just pop it in there. So it's one of those things that's a little bit more enterprise friendly than your typical Windows tablet device. The power supply, also pretty small, pretty portable. It's a little bit chunkier than what you would get with sort of a smartphone adapter, and it's actually a 2-piece adapter here. So you should be able to swap that out depending on your region if you're traveling to a place that doesn't accept this sort of normal 2-prong layout. And just a regular USB cable here, USB to micro USB. So power adapter is pretty portable. The device is pretty small, feels pretty good in the hand. But it does have the power of Windows 8. It's available with Windows 8.1. Touch-friendly, works with a keyboard and mouse if you plug in one, or use the optional docking station, and supports stylus input. And you can see it boots pretty quickly here too. So again, that is a quick look at the Dell Venue 11 Pro with a 10.8-inch Full HD display, $500 price tag, 2 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of storage, and Intel Bay Trail processor, also available with higher-end hardware for higher-end prices. This is Brad Linder with Liliputing, and again, stay tuned for future more detailed looks at the performance, battery life, and overall durability and utility of this device. But so far, after spending a little time with it, I'm pretty impressed with what you get. It is a little bit more expensive than something like a Transformer Book T1000 from Asus, but you get more for the price, including a higher resolution display and a feature I know a lot of people are going to like, which is the removable battery, something that you don't see a lot of these days.